Thank you very much. Hello to everyone. I'm going to start with a friend, Grigoris, Paralympian, a father of a beautiful daughter. And I'm going to ask him, Grigoris, we learned boccia from you. We didn't know what sport is that, so I can guess that many people here do not know what is this game. Can you describe us with some details?
Yes, of course.
What is this very special game that this very sports that you do?
Yes, of course. Good evening to all. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here with you today, and I would like to thank you very much for the invitation. Boccia is a Paralympic-only sport. It is a new sport, and it's a sport of strategy, and it's a sport that is played with persons with severe disabilities, like myself. I cannot do any other sport because I cannot move my legs or arms. So boccia is something like between chess and billiard. And I play with another able-bodied person. So I give all the instructions to that person. That person moves my equipment, and the person that plays with me, the able-bodied person, is not allowed to see what is going on in the court. He or she is with his back to the court and is not allowed to talk. So in no way he can help me. So that is a little bit about boccia, but I would like to start talking to you about competitive sport, which is a sport for those who seek beyond competition, high performance and victory. This is achieved with an organized program that includes continuous training, nutrition, and everything else that everyone needs for their sport. And most of all, the athlete's dedication to their sport. It's something that we do, it's our major priority. Great performances are not achieved immediately, as it takes the athletes to go through many years of preparation to be able to achieve a competitive level of world-class performance. The improvement of the athlete progresses together with his competitive obligations that start at the local level, continue at the national level, and if the athlete succeeds in entering a high performance level, his competitive obligation can become international as well. For people with disabilities, the most important sporting event is the Paralympic Games, which is for many years have been held together with the Olympic Games in the same city, organized by the same committee, and this started in Athens in 2004, and under the same conditions. The Paralympic Games have many of the Olympic sports, as well as some exclusive Paralympic sports, as we said before, boccia and goalball. Goalball is for blind. To ensure fairness among the participants, the athletes are divided according to their abilities into categories. As the president of the International Paralympic Committee, Andrew Parsons, says, the Paralympic Games are the biggest platform in the world that every 4 years shows to the whole of humanity that man can triumph even when he has a disability. In my opinion, the Paralympic Games prove to everyone that a person can be productive even with a disability. Will, hard work, and dedication are the elements that can make a person successful. Of course, we must not forget that very important factors are the people who are next to us and help us in our efforts, as well as the environment in which we live. As the more accessibility there is, the more opportunities we are given. I will never forget a feeling that I experienced inside the Olympic Village, and specifically in the restaurant of the Olympic Village, where I saw athletes from every country of the world and with completely different disabilities, being together, eating their food, and at that moment I felt how much we are the same, even though we have all these differences. As an example, I can tell you that I saw a person who had no arms at all. He was eating with his leg, and it felt absolutely normal to me. I saw no difference, because he was sitting among us, and he was doing the same with all of us. He was eating. Personally, when I started my sport, boccia, I felt that I was able to develop my abilities and overcome my weaknesses. Every year, with determination, with hard work, with great support from factors such as my family and my sponsors, I managed to achieve great successes. Until today, I have participated in 5 Paralympic Games and have won 6 Paralympic medals. In total, I have won 46 medals in international competitions, and I have been champion of Greece for 20 years. Of course, of course, this is not easy to achieve. Every day I train for 6 hours. Every year I have to develop new elements to be competitive, because if you relax, you risk being out of the top very quickly. This fact is certainly not helped by the disability, as the 6 hours in training become much more painful when you have to sit in a wheelchair. I am very often in pain and have to follow various treatments to cope with a tough training schedule. But all this also makes the champion. The ability and endurance to overcome obstacles make you better and stronger. After all, quitting is an early defeat. Thank you very much.
Grigoris, can I ask you something?
Of course.
Well, you told us that you meet a lot of people with disabilities around the world, that you feel the same, even though you have different disabilities, one or another. I want to tell me the difference in the support between different countries and in Greece. What is the support that we have to offer to people with disabilities that want to excel in order to go to Paralympics and have your medals or one medal?
It all starts with the key word that for me is respect. Respect.
Do Greece respect persons with disabilities?
We are somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
In the world. So respect, it goes together with the, I don't know if this is the correct word, the civilization, the level of where the country belongs. So more civilized countries have the best accessibility, and as we go lower, you see that the disability disappears. So Greece is a European country, so we are somewhere in the middle, and we did a great progress during the Paralympic Games in Athens in 2004, and that's why I say that the Paralympic Games is maybe the strongest tool for the accessibility for all kind of disabilities. For example, when I started going to the university, I was in the Athens University of Economics and Business, which is near Pediou to Arios. There was absolutely no accessibility there. There was not even one ramp. And I started in 2001. I finished in 2005, and the whole area, all the pavements had ramps. And this was the change of the Paralympic Games, because during these years, the whole city was trying to be accessible because it was an obligation to the International Paralympic Committee. So we had the new metro, the old metro or electric coach became accessible. There were elevators in all the stations. Before that, there was none. So we are somewhere in the middle. Unfortunately, we are not like New Zealand, where I had my first competition in 2003, and the chef de mission of that team that I was in, he is also disabled. He's tetraplegic, and he said that something that I will never forget. He said, I don't feel like a disabled here.
Yeah.
Because he could go everywhere. And I tried to make a challenge to myself and find at least 1 square meter that would not be accessible to me to go. And I failed. I didn't find any. So New Zealand for me was like the top of accessibility.
That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Grigoris. Now we're going to continue with a very special lady. She's the president of Hope Runners. She's a marathon herself. She has run the marathon of Antarctica in the cold sea and the cold mountains. She's a dentist. And we would like to talk about Hope Runners. What is Hope Runners? Who can run in this organization? And which is your next special route?
Great. Thank you. Thank you all. I am grateful for being here among you, among beautiful humans, and I consider each and every one of you a friend. So allow me on this occasion to present to you our association, the Hope Runners. So if is the PPT on? There is there you go. So in recent years, indeed, we have witnessed a shift of what sports are and how we can engage in sport altogether. So sports are no longer confined in their old stereotypical standard, and thus they have become a powerful tool for empowerment and for social change as we see it. So our team, the Hope Runners, what do? We run in road races or with a special running chairs with people with disabilities, almost any kind of disability and across all ages. So we run in the cities, in road races, we run in the mountains, in off-road races. And what do? This way we do provide access to what we consider to be one of the greatest joys in life, running. We love running, we are runners. Drawing inspiration from our pilots, and whom do we call pilot? At the Hope Runners Association, we call people with disabilities, we call them our pilots, because we see something, we see beyond their disabilities, we recognize their need and their capacity to be leaders of certain situations, and they do lead us while on the road. So by drawing inspirations by them, we recognize their need to be more active, to be efficiently participate in the social fabric. Therefore, what did we do? We shaped our strategy, our zero discrimination strategy, which it consists of 4 pillars. So it's zero discrimination in sports. This is what I described. What do we do there? We've got zero discrimination in culture, and that would include visits to museums, the theatre, and any event that promotes culture. We've got zero discrimination in community awareness activities, and that would include us visiting schools or other institutions, raising social awareness with presentations and workshops. Also, we've got the zero discrimination environmental awareness activities. That would be green activities primarily based on the parallel to the off-road races that we participate in. So as a culmination of our strategic planning, we organized on May 14th this year, the first Zero Discrimination Run, in collaboration with the Hellenic Olympians Association, the Greek Paralympic Association, and Tihio Race. And that was localized at the landmark of track and field in Greece, the Olympic Stadium. 2 public schools participated at the 1K race, and we consider this a great success because children and youth generally is our target population when it comes to raising awareness on such a sensitive topic as inclusion is. Now, very briefly, let me tap into our experience as organizers of our own event. So we worked really hard on several key factors, including communication with partners, potential donors, securing facility accessibility, adaptive equipment, training and education of volunteers and staff, collaborating with disability organizations, together with a lot of advocacy, outreach activities, and personal communication in support of the participants. Now, this required a lot of commitment to break down barriers to ensure equal opportunity for everyone to access the event. It was a lot of work indeed, and we now know for a fact that sport managers and sport event organizers, they do go the extra mile, they do put in the extra effort for inclusivity's sake. And one might raise the question, is it worth it? Is it worth it to go the extra mile? Is it worth it to put in the extra effort for inclusion's sake? So far I have been talking about walking through a field which is more or less your field of expertise as sports event organizers. Now let me chip in with what I have to bring on the table, which lies at the intersection of running with individuals with disabilities, and science, more specifically medicine, and more specifically global health. Now, if we were to pause for a bit and think, what is health? So as is defined by WHO back in 1948, and this definition has been since then been updated, health is the state of complete mental and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Now, this definition, it emphasizes that health is a holistic concept that goes beyond the mere absence of illness. It includes physical, mental, and social dimensions, and it acknowledges the interconnectedness of various aspects of an individual's health and well-being overall. Now, if we were to break down the constituents of health and observe them on the field of inclusion in sport when it comes to disabilities, how does inclusion help us become healthier? How does inclusion in sports help us build and have a better life overall? When it comes to the physical aspect, now this is particularly evident in the realm of the Paralympic sport, as Grigoris previously mentioned, where individuals with disabilities, they do have to stay consistent with their training, have a disciplined life. So therefore, they eventually will thrive, they will emerge as front runners in the pursuit of excellence. Now, in our experience at the Hope Runners Associations, not all individuals have the physical capacity to actively participate in the sport. Nonetheless, they do participate on many other levels. And most importantly, they urge us, the running team, they motivate us to remain healthy. They motivate us to stay fit, to be disciplined when it comes to our training. Why? Because we always have to be ready and ready for our next running adventure, which is always around the corner. Moving on to the next constituent of health, and let us pause here and remind ourselves that mental health issues, they are on the rise. Their prevalence is on the rise global-wise, to the great concern of the medical community. Therefore, mental health has been prioritized across the world. Now, when it comes to the mental health and how we perceive it through inclusion in sports, what we have been first-handedly experiencing with all our running events, with the Hope Runners, and as Grigoris previously again mentioned, we do create a stronger sense of belonging, a wider sense of community that includes and unites all participants through the experience of the same feelings, and in that case, the feelings of joy, of anticipation, of happiness, of love. We also secure visibility. We do need to feel that we are being seen. We do need to feel that we are being heard. And we want to feel that we are together with everyone else in the same sport, in the same event, across all venues of life. Which brings us to the social dimension of health and how is it being served through inclusion in sports when it comes to individuals with disabilities. So we have seen that we foster inclusivity and we foster resilience. We break down barriers just by being there at the same start line, but just by crossing the same finish line together with everyone else. With the Hope Runners, we experience incredible stories, incredible human stories that they do have the power to alter the societal perceptions. We don't necessarily break records, but we do break stereotypes, and we do inspire the community and future generations. We believe that a society with increased empathy, respect, and a society that promotes equality and, most importantly, equity is a society that can lead to a better world for all. So this is our call to everyone who is a sports manager or a sport event organizer. This is our call to them. Please do have a look at this incredible potential, which leads not just to a change, but to a shift altogether, which is being reflected in every single aspect of life. Because through inclusion in sport, we create healthier societies, because we shape citizens whose overall health and overall well-being is prioritized. And eventually, it is being shifted. Because shift always starts from within, and sport will do that. Sport will create a space for everyone. Will affect each and every individual separately, horizontally and vertically, and will push us ever so lightly towards the right direction, towards a zero discrimination world that leaves no one behind. And with this, I will thank you.
Thank you, Maria Eluisa. Vassilis Gerogiannis, a special man, a role model father. Vassilis, welcome.
Thank you very much. Can we have the slides? Hello, my name is Vassilis Gerogiannis. I'm the co-founder of Trexe Mazi Mou, which is Run With Me in English. First of all, I want to thank the organizers for inviting us to this conference, which is very interesting. And also I feel very special being here because about 15 years ago I got my MBA from the American College of Greece, so it feels good to be back. So I have 3 children. My oldest daughter, Marilena, is disabled. And we participate in the last 10 years, we have been participating in running races together. But it all started by this Team Hoyt, if you're familiar with them. Rick and Dick Hoyt was a father and son who participated in many running races, Ironmans, triathlons, and they started back in 1977. And in the first race, Rick Hoyt had told his father that when they run, he feels like he's not handicapped, like his disability disappears. So this was the click that made me started running, and I said it's the least I can do for my daughter, to start running and running with her in races. So this is the agenda for today's presentation: who we are, our history, why we run, and our goals. We are Run With Me, Trexe Μαζί μου is a non-profit organization. We were established in January this year. However, we have a very long history. Our goal is the acceptance, respect, and inclusion of disabled people, mainly by participating in running races. And of course, the benefits are much more, as Maria Eluisa mentioned before: health, etc., etc. Here is some history. In 2013 was the first race the first marathon I ran, because first I wanted to see if I could run a marathon myself, and then run with my daughter. And in the last 2 kilometers I met Achilleas and Giannakis. Giannakis was on a wheelchair, Achilleas was pushing him, and we gave the promise for the next year to participate in a race together, which we did. The biggest barrier was getting a running chair, because it's not very easy to get a running chair. So they were very expensive from America, customs, transportation costs. So we found Dimitris Kores, who is an architect. He has built a car, a project for, and so he took over the responsibility of constructing building a running chair for us, and we thank him very much for that. So in 2014, we ran in the Thessaloniki Marathon and the Megas Alexandros Marathon in April, and then in November in the authentic Athens Marathon, together with Achilleas, and we kept our promise. So as the years were going by, we were creating more running chairs, building more running chairs, so we can, spread the joy to more disabled children. Because the benefits were so big for my daughter. She was so happy, so I wanted to spread that happiness to other disabled children as well. So we invited her classmates and friends, and so every year we participated in the marathons and many more races, apart from the COVID period. And also recently in the Athens half marathon in 2023, we had 9 participations, and the Prime Minister's wife and daughter gave us the honor to participate with us in the first 2 or 3 kilometers, which was very inspiring. And also, so why do we run? The main reason we run is the joy of participation for the disabled people. It's an event that they can participate in without worrying if they can go somewhere. If the elevator is working, or if somebody has blocked the sidewalk, or whatever. They feel freedom when participating in a race. And also it's an event of inclusion, because they participate together with other abled athletes. And also the families of the disabled people feel very happy because a member of their family are participating in a race, and they're happy as well. And of course, the volunteers, the runners that push the running chairs, of course they are volunteers, but apart from offering help, they receive many benefits as well. And lastly, we also inspire the public. Everybody who sees us is inspired, and it's something magical. So it's difficult to explain. I'm sure, Maria Eluisa can understand me better, but I invite anybody who wants to, feel that, can become a volunteer and run with us in some next race. Here we had some recent publicity in some newsletters and newspapers. We ran the marathon in Thessaloniki, where the mayor ran the 5K with us. And recently in November we had a partnership with Stichiman, Kaizen Gaming, where they together we did this program called Wheels of Change, where they offered us 30 running chairs, which was very helpful. So we were able to give the joy to much more disabled athletes. And here are some of the ambassadors of this program: Miltos Tentoglou in the middle, Diamandidis, Miliousi, and Pridezis in the previous picture. And there was a big campaign about this, that this puts one step towards the direction of inclusion and changing the respect that we were mentioning about before. It changes the concept of society towards disabled people. In the Athens Authentic Marathon, in the 5K race, we had more than 25 running chairs. And overall, we had more than 40 participations of disabled persons in the races, in the 5K, 10K, and the 42K. So yeah, recently we published a children's book, which was presented in November 2023, which is about disability, and also it promotes inclusion and also accessibility, because we believe that through the children we can educate older people in the society, and this is one way to make them respect disabled people better. And also on that day, we signed an agreement with the Olympic Winners Association, and we are planning to do many events in the next coming year. So yeah, as next steps, our goal is to participate in at least one race per month, with as many running chairs as possible, and grow the community of collaborative sports, and also, of course, promote inclusion. In this picture here, you can see it's a picture of the race 2 years ago of Navarino Challenge, and 3 people I didn't even know before the race offered to help me during the race. Yulika Skafida is a famous actor, and Yannis and Spiros were there. They saw me struggling on the beach of Voidokilia, and so they offered to help me, and we finished the race together. And as mentioned before, that sports unites people, I want to take it one step further. Sports not only unites people, it creates many strong bonds. I have created many strong friendships throughout these 10 years I have been running with my daughter and other people, and it's something that I hope I'm healthy and I can do for many more years to come. So I can invite you to visit our website, trexia.gr, or our Instagram page, and to see how you can get involved in all this. And I think that's it. Sorry.
Okay.
It's okay. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
There is a question.
Yeah.
In the first 30 kilometers of a marathon, the body has the calories. After the 30 kilometers, the body starts to burn muscles, and that's the difficult procession and painful. How the connection with your daughter helps these last kilometers, and most difficult, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody who has ran a marathon knows that it's not only a physical competition, it's also a mental competition. So yes, after the 30 kilometers, it's quite hard. That's when the true competition starts. I would say that what keeps us going is my daughter, and any disabled person who is on the running chair inspires us, and we start running with our soul, not with our muscles, not with anything else. Our mind and soul keeps us going in order to make that person happy.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.